Let's go. We're back. Welcome to MLB Prop Pick Show powered by the Bat on Covers. Thanks for joining us here every Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, 9:30 a.m. Good to see Derek back. Good to have old producer Mick back on the buttons. Good to see everybody there in the chat. We got Happy Paul Skeens Day. Won't be any bets on that. We do have to assume that those innings are coming down sooner or later. No, like people rushing to bet like his Cy Young. You're like, he's not going to last.
Yeah. I mean, what I just love is that the Bat is not pushing his unders anymore, which is really nice because I wasn't betting him anyway, but I don't like seeing that. But yeah, like, I mean, he's going to be limited at some point. Like they're the Pirates. They don't need him to throw 200 innings.
No, 100%. But good to have everybody there back. Milo mentioning his favorite thing to bet on is the home run derby. I love those one-off events, right? The home run derby, the all-star game, like any skills comp, drafts, like there are better edges to find in those days. So absolute heater I've been on in the last like 8 weeks. It's insane. Like heater where I'm terrified of losing my best account where you're like, well, I can't pull money out yet. You got to keep it in. It's worrisome. So even when I was trying to throw some parlays at it, they were hitting. So Derek's numbers still popping off. So let's go. Lots of things moving today. If you're looking for these player prop projections, head over to Covers. Derek's numbers there. Everything powered by the Bat. Game, markets, ratings, shopping around, analysis, everything you need betting per game. Let's go. It's been a while. Let's not be rusty. This is how we do things. Tell you the book, hopefully some secondary books. Then we'll tell you the game we're betting on. Then we'll tell you the market and the player, then the over under. Everybody's been here for a while. We know the process. Shout out to Josh for the Durant MVP. You'll never understand. I gave up on the game and then I just turned it on and you just see the back of his jersey. You're like, what just happened? I think I just won $3,000. Wild day. 70-1 was there. Let's get going. Let's start things hot, Derek. We are on a great angle here. Bet 365. Do you have a secondary book? Because we just switched his market.
I think we're supposed to be at DraftKings for this one, assuming this is the one that we switched from the earn runs.
Yeah.
I think DraftKings is the line, and I think Hard Rock has the same line. And then there's a few books that are like 5 points off. Let me look real quick. Caesars is 3 points off. That's going to be your next best, I think.
Perfect. Game in question. We are Arizona KC. Now, there are a couple angles. If you don't have these books, there's a couple things to talk about within this with the movie number. That's why we jumped on it. Arizona KC. Obviously, Bobby Wick got plunked yesterday. There's just so many moving pieces to this game. We'll get it out and we'll talk about them. Let's go over to pitcher props. Let's go hits allowed. There. All right, let's go. Release one. Arizona Jordan Montgomery. Under 5.5 hits allowed plus 115. Monty. Under 5.5 hits allowed plus 115. We were going to do earned runs. You pivoted at the last moment because it went from 6.5 to 5.5 at plus money. I think he projects for around like 5.24. Coming off the IL. No rehab games. Simulated games. I think it was up to like 57 or somewhere.
6 pitches, I think. Yeah, something like that.
Somewhere around there. Tell me what you like about Montgomery, and then we'll get into, jeepers, 10 points moved. Yeah. Let me know what you like about Montgomery, and then we'll get into all the ancillary stuff that's going on in this game.
I like the pitch count limit. It hasn't started in a while through that sim game. If you dug into beat reports, I think it said 56 or 57 pitches. So he should be limited to around 70 or so here, I would think, which, might be rusty. That's the big concern here. Might be rusty. KC is kind of a big park. It's hitter's weather. But 6 hits on 70 pitches is still a lot. So that's what we're looking at here. The Bat's projecting 5.2,
3.
5.2, I think. So it's like a 60% chance play at plus 120, which is really nice.
I think he's saying that everybody got on this early. The 6.5 was a more reasonable -135 using Derek's numbers earlier.
Yeah.
I think I paid some -145 to get on it, or like even -150. Like the win percentage on the 6.5 is pretty massive at the 5.2.
Yeah, if you got the 6.5 at -135 or something, you're feeling really, really nice about that.
All right, so there's that. Then on the other side, you have Alec Marsh starting. He was a reliever. You are speculating maybe that they were just trying to keep him fresh, but I think he's on 3 days, so I'm not sure if he's got 90 plus pitches in him. And then you got the Bobby Witt stuff. Like someone's getting hit today. Like Salvi Perez was fired up. Like if you had to go plate appearance live bets and you wanted to bet walk or hit by pitch, Salvi's your guy. After someone from Arizona gets hit. I don't know who it is. It's probably Corbin Carroll. No, like you just hit their best guy.
Or Marte maybe, but yeah.
But it could be first batter too, right?
Yeah, it could be. I mean, I like that angle. There's definitely some. You mentioned that in your Discord earlier, the Marsh unders, which I think are definitely interesting because of that. And if we're lucky, maybe Montgomery retaliates after he hits somebody. And
right after the warnings, right? Exactly. Yeah. So like we laugh about it, but like those are things that you need to put within the range of outcomes. No.
Yeah, it's absolutely has to be in there. I think it's more likely we see a Marsh ejection than a Montgomery one, but it's possible we see both. You never know.
Yeah. Or like, I mean, it could be a slow game. We could see empty benches twice. Like there could be a lot of nonsense in this game, but like producer Mick says, hit that like button. Should be an interesting one. We'll be tuning in. Absolutely. Let's go to the second play. We're going to Colorado. We're going to 365. I'm all over the map because we're trying to get these in. Secondary book, Bet99, Caesars. Spencer Strider enthusiast doing the micro betting. First pitch ball, he says. That's funny.
It is probably a good bet, honestly.
All right. Hey, better price.
Oh, nice. Good. We'll take 5 points.
Yeah, and that was the one at Fanatics that you were talking about as well. So let's go. We're here. Pitcher strikeouts. Ty Blach. I think that's it. I'm so good at names. Under 3.5. Juiced. 170. Ty. Let's go TB here. Under 3.5 strikeouts. -170. It's a lot of juice. Right?
We're paying a lot for this one, but
if it flips to 2.5 at plus money, is that the better move? Is that the better?
It is, yeah. If it flips to like 2.5, like I think Hard Rock had it at +145, but then it went back to 3.5. If you get the 2.5 at like +145, +140, +130, I like that better than the 3.5 here. But the 3.5 is still good. What's the
+140 ESPN there on the 2.5? I'm assuming Yahtzee.
What's that?
Yahtzee saying +140 at ESPN.
Yeah, if ESPN has the +140 now, I like that the most. That I would hit before the 3.5.
FD +130.
Oh, so I guess books are flipping. Okay. The bat's projecting 2.4 here, so the 2.5 at big plus money, you're still getting a more than 50-50 play at good odds. Like it's going to be a ridiculous value. The 3.5, you don't love laying -170, but this is like a close to an 80% winner probably. Blach is first, not good. Second, pitching in Coors Field. And third, has been pitching out of the bullpen for a while. Hasn't made a start since June 20th, over a month ago. His max pitches since then in 4 relief appearances has been 39 pitches. So the bat's projecting, I think, like 60, 66 today. Kind of a guess, but like he's probably not going to be able to go very deep.
And finally, one more fantastic thing. I think there's a little rain projected in Colorado too, as well, which is never a bad thing.
Yep, no, that is always helps a little bit.
Just moved -190 at 365. Wow. That's big. 20-point moves at 365 are substantial.
Yeah, they are.
But I think they went the other way. They were at minus 175 and they moved to 170. I think they went the wrong way.
Yeah, they definitely did.
Yeah. But if that is too much juice for you, or you want to put it with something else, do what you need to do. But we're going to take it as the single there. Play it straight up. 170 to win 100. That's what will go on the record. But if that's not you, everything's flipping to 2.5, and the 2.5 is a good play, pretty much to what, 125?
I would think so. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. On to the next. I've lost my new script here. Got everything down. We are going to the Philly game. Philly, Minnesota. Another great angle. Rivers for this one. I don't know. The secondary books are about like 20 points off, which is a tough one. I don't know. I think there's some minus 180s. Yeah. So the 65 still there. So maybe 15 points off.
I think Caesars is 12 points off, which is still going to be really good.
Nice. All right. Pitcher outs. Let's get this quickly. It should move. Phillies, Zach Wheeler under 18.5 outs, minus 165. Today is setting a record for most games bet heavily juiced. We've actually done really well staying away from it. And it's not just because we plan to, it's just lots of value on plus money stuff.
Yeah, it's just the way the value has worked out this year, where books haven't really offered us a lot of value on these types of bets. But today we're seeing it, so we'll take it. You take what the market gives you, and this is where the value is. Wheeler is, I feel like maybe kind of lost in the shuffle of like the All-Star break hasn't started in like 2 weeks. Seems like maybe the books are just thinking it's, normal All-Star break stuff because that happens to a lot of guys, but he was hurt. Not like he was throwing it all over the All-Star break. It's been a little while. The bat's projecting 86 pitches for him because you have to expect him to be a little bit limited, and asking for him to pitch into the 7th inning on any kind of limit is going to be tough. As good as Wheeler is, as efficient as he is, this is just it's a tall order. The bat's projecting 5.4 here, so closer to 5 innings than it is to pitching into the 7th.
Yeah, his strikeouts under project well, obviously in the spot, Minnesota. He's on the road first, and it is one of the biggest things. It sounds like the easiest thing, just talking about road splits, pitching on the road as opposed to home. It's pretty insane when you dig into it and notice the differences between pitchers, like 3 points constantly, like ERA pitching on the road than at home, like for elite pitchers. It's really interesting to see. So he's on the road. There's rain projected in Minnesota. Back spasms kept him out of the lineup. He hasn't pitched in 14 days. So it's really like Montgomery. There's just a lot of, scams and narratives in which that this way can go to the under, and we're starting to see that market fall. 17, if it hits 17.5 and touches that beautiful like plus 150 range, like Joe Ryan territory, that'd be a good spot too.
Yeah, it would. I would be fine with that number.
Yeah, awesome. Thoughts on the under strikeouts on Wheeler today? I hit the under 6.5 earlier today. I think that market's kind of fallen down. I believe it was one of the ones that popped earlier today.
Yeah, the odds you're getting it now, it looks like most books are like minus 120, minus 130. I don't really like it too much there. The bat's projecting about 6. So once you start paying some juice for it, you're really not getting much value.
All right. So there, John Metler jumps in. Hello, John. The 17.5's alive, and it's alive at Pinnacle.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
33.
Yeah, that's a good number.
What'd you say? 15? 15 to 16 ounce?
Yeah, I think it's 15.1 or 15.2 or something like that.
All right. Wheeler, rain, back spasms, 14 days off. Love it. Montgomery, loving that one too. We got another one. And if you follow Derek's numbers every day, if it's the first thing you look at when you wake up, like I am, Albert Suarez is always there at the 1.5 plus money. And I'll give you a lot of credit because your numbers have absolutely shaped the walk market. We used to there would at least be every day, at least 2 or 3 plays in the plus 120 to plus 150 range, which is where you want to play it with the variance that comes with this market.
Yep.
And they're kind of dried up. So thanks
It
a lot,
has.
Derek. Thanks a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah, sorry about that.
but we did every day you look at it when you go to that market. There's just not that. But Suarez is one that pops, and that's where we are. Baltimore starting pitcher Albert Suarez under 1.5 walks allowed plus 155 here at Bet365. Secondary book I believe was at Caesars with the next best price, but I think that's maybe in the 40 range. Miami, average walk team. Derek Suarez always pops in the market. 5-7 to the under over his 12 starts. He's done that. He had one of those scattered cluster, what we call, where I think he had 4 in a row games that kind of skewed everything in his projections. But this is a big number for Suarez, who I know you like constantly per every start.
Yeah, I mean, Suarez isn't a great control guy, but he's not a terrible one either. Not going to go super deep into games usually, so that's going to help with the under. Miami projects as the lowest walk rate lineup of the entire day today. So this one looks good. We're getting it at a big number. And yeah, I mean, like you said, these walk market ones, because of just kind of the way it can go, especially between 1 and 2 walks, a lot of times it's coin flippish. Like this projects 55% as a winner. But when you get offered the right odds on it, I've been doing really well on them this year.
I'm being corrected from someone that when they say something, I have to listen because they're usually correct. Milo saying the walks market has not dried up. I'm just saying those 135s to 155s aren't as prevalent at 1.5, and you're seeing books go to the 2.5 a bit more.
Yeah, I feel like there's not quite as many of them as there were earlier in the year, but we're still getting some.
Oh, absolutely. The Gosmans, the Suarez. Like we moved Fried, what we were getting Max Fried at. We were getting Fried at 55.
Yeah.
He's like minus 110 now.
Yeah. The Fried ones were great.
Yeah. John Metler says Penny pulled it. I'm assuming that he's talking about the Wheeler
one, yeah.
The Wheeler outs at 43. So John's pushing the auto movers there over at Pinnacle. But I think that's it. Looking at it, a bit of a scramble, but we got most of our numbers. Well, we got 5 points better on old Wheeler somehow. No, not Wheeler. Who do we get the points better on?
Blach.
Oh, the Blach one. Yeah. All right. So we went Monty to recap. If you're just jumping in, Monty under 5.5 hits allowed plus 115. That's on the beat of a low projected pitch count. Blach under 3.5 Ks, laying the juice minus 170 to 2.5s at plus 125 or better are in play for a guy who's been a reliever for his last 4 appearances. Zach Wheeler hasn't pitched in 14 days, dealing with back spasms. No reason to push him with possible rain. Under 18.5 outs, got a good number there. And then Albert Suarez at plus 155, under 1.5 walks versus, as Derek put it, the lowest walk percentage lineup today. Whatever, we'll figure it out. First day back, walking all over my words. Cover says, hit that like button. That covers, guys. All right. Thank you, Mick, for being there. Thanks to everybody joining us on a Tuesday. Good amount of eyes today. Good to be back. Good to have the team back together. And thank you always for the engagement down there. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button. We'll be back here tomorrow, 9:30. Let's get some winners. Let's go.